table staff previously, in that in the definition of the line, members may walk through the passage. If you are differing from that, then we will follow your ruling going forward. However, it differs from the previous clarity that we sought in this regard.
Thank you, Honourable Member. I have ruled under the order, but thank you so much. Honourable Dirks, I do apologise. You may continue.
No, thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, for your kindness. The people of KwaZulu-Natal must never forget that this situation was made possible by the ANC led by Honourable Doma. This budget smacks of terrorism and we reject it with the contempt that it deserves. Close quote. This was the quote from my last year's budget speech. And as I'm standing here, the people of Zululand and Zululand is still drinking water with animals. That budget of last year did not create the jobs that it promised that it will create. Honourable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Honourable Madam Speaker, this financial year, the Honourable Rogers presented to this House an expenditure and a revenue collection statement, not a budget. This expenditure and revenue collection statement cannot and will never address the structure of the provincial economy, which is fundamental to the transformation of the economy, job creation, and the total economic emancipation of black majority of KZN. We cannot pursue economic...
Honourable Dirks, I do apologise. Please take your seat. Honourable Kika, what rule do you rise on?
Madam Deputy Speaker, I rise on Rule 75(1).
Sorry, Honourable Kika, you may proceed.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the Honourable Dirks, when he made certain references without mentioning the name of the Honourable Rogers, his speech was directly reflective and insulting and discriminatory against the Honourable Rogers in the words that he used to describe the MEC of Finance by calling him all kinds of names, racist, all those kinds of things. And I would appreciate that you have a look at the Hansard and then come back with a ruling on the matter.
Thank you so much, Honourable Kika. Honourable Member, please, can we respect the Honourable Members? But it's also during the spirit of debate. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I did not refer to the Honourable Rogers as being racist. I was referring to the political party, which is the DA. And when I say the DA as a Zionist, racist, neoliberal party, doesn't mean that in the DA, everybody in the DA is racist. Doesn't mean that at all. So I was referring to a political party and not an individual, but I can understand what...
Honourable Dirks, you may continue with your
debate.
debate.
I'm continuing with my debate. I can understand what will happen here today. I will be interrupted continuously, but with frivolous point of orders here, just to disrupt my debate, because some people do not want to hear the truth here. We cannot pursue economic expansion through purposeful provincial government-led industrialization via this so-called budget. With this expenditure and revenue collection statement, we cannot develop and grow the productive forces of our economy in a manner that will guarantee full employment and create conditions for common and full prosperity for all the people of KZN. This expenditure and revenue collection statement will not fight poverty and reduce inequalities in KZN. The very same outcomes that the MEC for Finance is trying to prevent from happening with these budget cuts will result in exactly what he's trying to prevent from happening, which is over-expenditure and unauthorized expenditure. The two most critical departments in this province is education and health. This kind of budget will destroy whatever is left of these two departments. The allocation to education is shocking and disgraceful. It is the African child in the province of KwaZulu-Natal who will suffer the consequences of this DA neoliberal budget. It is clear that the DA does not care about black votes. They only care about black people's votes. They do not care about black people. It is criminal that the finances of this province are being decided upon by a 13% on behalf of the majority. During the budget hearings, it was clear that with the current budget allocations to education, that it will not be able to meet 5 of its 6 priorities. As Umkhonto weSizwe, we are not going to support a nonsense budget that will result in over-expenditure and unauthorized expenditure. The MEC can come at the end of this debate and hurl insult at us for raising these issues. But 6 months from now, this department, the education department, will have incurred unauthorized and over-expenditure. The media and the people of KZN must take note that what we are saying here today as Umkhonto weSizwe will be proven correct. Madam Speaker, as Umkhonto weSizwe, we want to bring it to your attention and inform the people of KwaZulu-Natal that the looting at the health department is unprecedented. Now, the chief whip of the legislature, not the chief whip of a political party like myself, the chief whip of the legislature, came here and he presented a factual report, very objective report of the state of the province and the over-expenditure, the nepotism and everything that's happening in this province. He gave a general, broad overview. But Madam Speaker, allow me to give some of the details of what that Honourable Speaker's report actually speaks about. Madam Speaker, as Umkhonto weSizwe, we want to say that the use of consultant by the health department in order to facilitate looting must stop. Cannot appoint consultants in that health department in order to loot. And the MEC of Finance knows exactly, sorry, the MEC of Health knows exactly what I'm talking about. It is unacceptable that the CFO of Health appoints a consulting company that he resigned from 10 days before the closing date of the bid. The CEO is the chairperson of the Bid Awards Committee, but decides to play musical chairs and went to go and sit on the Technical Evaluation Committee in order to ensure that the very same company of his gets shortlisted. Even the provincial tender tribunal ruled against the CFO. But the MEC of Finance and the Premier are silent when it comes to corruption. The budget does not demonstrate, this budget, Madam Speaker, does not demonstrate impatience and intolerance of corruption, fruitless, wasteful, and unauthorized expenditure. We have no moral leadership, political leadership in this DA-led provincial coalition. Madam Speaker, we have a premier who refuses to give leadership because of his fear of losing blue lights. Madam Speaker, we have a premier who is failing KZN. Madam Speaker, we have a premier who is presiding over a provincial government that is collapsing financially. Madam Speaker, the Honourable Ntuli has turned the office of the Premier into the King Ketswayo District Municipality. Madam Speaker, the nepotism that report of the Chief Whip of the legislature spoke about, let me just point out some of the nepotisms. Madam Speaker, the appointments in the office of the Premier. The Director of Special Projects in Operation Sakuma is from King Ketswayo Municipality. Madam Speaker, the Director of HIV and AIDS are from King Ketswayo Municipality. This director has never physically reported for duty to the unit. In fact, the HIV and AIDS staff haven't even met her. The incumbent gets paid the salary of a director for HIV and AIDS without doing any duties related to that post. The acting chief director of human resources in the office of the Premier from King Ketswayo office again, the municipality again. This is the second person attached to one position. The unit already has a chief director who occupies this post for several years. The director of international relations, guess from where? From King Ketswayo District Municipality. The chief director of provincial information communication technology in the office of this Premier, again from Umhlazi local municipality in the King Ketswayo Municipal District. Madam Speaker, the deputy director in the office of the Premier is the former municipal manager of the King Ketswayo District Municipality. Madam Speaker, no recruitment processes was followed in disappointments. The Speaker does as the Premier does as he pleases, and he doesn't care about employment processes. Madam Speaker, the fact of the matter is that we do not have a Speaker. We have a Mayor masquerading as a Premier. We reject once again this nonsense budget. Madam Speaker, allow me to respond to some of the utterances of Honourable Kikia, Dr. Kikia, Honourable Dr. Kikia. Many public utterances and some of these utterances in this House. Madam Speaker, the MK party is not here to inherit the system. We are here to transform it. We do not owe loyalty to the colonial constitution or neo-liberal dogma. We are loyal only to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. Our vision is not about defending elite institutions captured by capital. It is about building a sovereign, people-centered province rooted in justice, land, dignity, and economic freedom. Madam Speaker, Honourable Kika speaks of constitutionalism, while his own party worships a constitution that has failed to return land, failed to end poverty, and failed to dismantle the apartheid economic legacy. He accuses the MK party of lacking policy coherence, yet the DA's only real policy is to protect white privilege under the guise of law and order. As for the honourable member's comments, Madam Speaker, on internal party matters, the Honourable Dr. Kikia would do well to focus on the crumbling credibility of his own party, one that has lost the trust of both black and white South Africans and has now resorted to clinging to power by serving as junior partners in a coalition which the very ANC they once opposed. The MK party will continue to use the platforms available to it in this legislature, including Rule 130, to raise urgent national and provincial issues. We will continue to unsettle the comfort of the political establishment, this GPU. The comfort will unsettle it at all times. As I speak, we're on the streets. We are marching. We will unsettle. They will unsettle. We are going to take your head on. We are going to remove you all. Very, very soon we are going to remove you all. And yes, we will continue. And yes, Honourable Speaker, we will continue to chant Kwaza Mkonto. We'll continue to chant our slogan, because that is a call to action, to conscientize and to courage. The real fear behind Dr. Kikia's attack is not our slogans, but our momentum. It is not our past, but our future. And in that future, the DA is not leading, it is watching from the sidelines. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, in conclusion, let me just come here. Commanders, I think I need to speak Afrikaans so that these people, so they can understand. I need to speak Afrikaans so that this white establishment must understand what I'm saying. I must address them in full Afrikaans. Madam Speaker, there's this issue of the VAT. The DA, I'll make Honourable Madam Speaker, if through you with permission, if I can ask the Honourable Seme to explain during lunchtime to the MEC of Finance what is VAT. So can she explain to him? Now she'll explain to you. We'll make the young lady explain to you. Now, Honourable Speaker, the issue of VAT, the issue of VAT here, Madam Speaker, the fact of the matter is that if President Zuma did not launch Umkhonto weSizwe on the 16th of December, 2023, the ANC was going to get 50 plus 1% in the elections. And today, on the May 1st, the people of South Africa was going to have a VAT increase of 1%. But it's because of the efforts of President Zuma that have saved the people of South Africa. It is not the noises of the DA that went to court. It's not. It is the fact that the ANC did not get the 51%, and the only party and the only person in this country that could have dropped the ANC below 50% was President Zuma. And when I was in the ANC, I warned them about it. I warned them about their behavior. And President Zuma came along and President Zuma dropped him. So South Africans must thank President Zuma because they were going to get a 2% increase without President Zuma. Viva Msholozi, viva! Amandla!
Order, honourable members. Order, honourable members. Order. Order, honourable members. The next honourable member for 8 minutes from the IFP, Honourable MP Gwala.
Honourable Speaker, departments must sign and enforce performance contracts. If we cannot measure the output of officials, we cannot hold them accountable, nor can we reward excellence. That is a disservice to the many diligent public servants who quietly deliver with honor every day. We commend the current leadership under Honourable Premier Ntuli, who inherited an overwhelming catalogue of dysfunction from the sixth administration, riddled with transgressors or transgressions, incompetence, and widespread service delivery collapse. Yet, under this administration, a new wind blows. We are witnessing a cohort of well-equipped, reform-driven leaders taking decisive steps to address past failures. This leadership has shown resolve in implementing consequence management, restoring ethical standard, and resolutely rejecting mediocrity and failure. Honourable Premier and his team in the executive are doing the best they can to rectify the mistakes of the past. We in this side of the House have confidence in Honourable Ntuli and are hopeful of taking the KZN to be the best province. Their mission to restore our provincial government departments and entities to their former glory is not aspirational, it is actionable. The IFP is proud to partner in this vision. However, we must speak candidly. Social cohesion remains fragile. We call upon Premier Ntuli to lead boldly in forging unity across racial and cultural divides. The legislature must also actively promote inclusivity and respect. I don't think that contribution in support of the new government is a bedroom issue. This doesn't require a choir of frogs to croak in a shallow pond. In fact, because they are useless, in the construction of the country in terms of economy. It is not enough to acknowledge difference. We must celebrate shared identity. All races must participate fully in cultural commemorations like Umkhosi weLembe. Schools too must nurture unity, instill natural respect, and dismantle racial prejudice. Bullying, discrimination, and division has no place in a progressive society. Let us remember the ghost of apartheid must be exorcised, and those who incite racial hostility must face harsh and immediate consequences. In conclusion, let us seize the moment. Let us reject failure, eradicate corruption, and imagine what good governance can be. Let us work together to build the KwaZulu-Natal that delivers services, empowers its people, and restores the dignity that so many have been denied. We also urge this House to act with unity and maturity. Political contestation must never eclipse the need of the people. We call on all members across party lines to put the interest of KwaZulu-Natal above party or politics, above party, and above ego. Together, we can push this province forward. Grandstanding over the VAT is unfortunate. One of the major reasons for economic downturn was caused by leaders who advocated looting that collapsed the economy in two provinces, namely KZN and Gauteng. It is a disgrace that those who masquerade as the spokesperson of the poor have a double agenda, as they are sheep by day and a wolf by night. During the day, they are holier than thou, and during the night, they change the T-shirt to continue where they left off. The IFP supports the provincial government to use every effort available in making sure that poverty be eradicated. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honourable Gwala. Honourable members, we have come to the end of the debate. We will now move on to the response by the MEC of Finance for 20 minutes. Honourable F.A. Rogers. Honourable members, order please.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Let me firstly thank everybody that contributed to the debate. I despair that the debate seems to be more of a political platform than actually addressing the needs of the people in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, which I'm afraid is a sad indictment. You know, Honourable Gwala, your words, and I made a note of it, you said you're not here to criticize blindly, but you're here to contribute constructively. I think those were the wisest words that were said during this 1.5-hour debate. But the reality is, Madam Deputy Speaker, this is what happens when you have an opposition party that is ineffective, disjointed, divided, and disgruntled along party lines, with a lack of fiscal intelligence. Because all I heard was a whole lot of moaning and groaning, but no solutions. It's all very well, Honourable Seme, I'm worried about your MBA and the actual impact your MBA has had on you.
Through me, Honourable
But anyway,
MEC.
you have a better qualification than me. Yeah, maybe I'm jealous. But here's the reality. You said to me, you want free education, you want free health, you want this free, you want that free. You never told me how to fund it. This is where the fiscal delinquency comes in, your lack of fiscal understanding. You can stand here and grandstand as much as you like, Honourable Seme. The people outside of this room want to know, where are you going to get the money for free education? Where are you going to get the money? Where do you want to take it from? Huh? Because the reality is, let me give you an education, a lesson. Here's my MBA on financial management. We get a limited resource when it comes to finance, and that is allocated to each department. Now, if you want education to get more money...
Honourable MEC.
Listen, by the way, I love your
MEC.
DA blue dress.
Honourable
It's wonderful.
MEC. Honourable members, please can we have some order in the House? I am struggling to hear the debates and the responses. Honourable MEC, please can you refer to me and not to a member? And honourable members, please can you allow me to do my job? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. But you see, again, this is the maturity of the opposition. I sat here and I listened, but they don't listen. They can give it, but they don't want to take it. And that is the reality. So, Honourable Seme, one of the reasons,
Honourable MEC.
through you, Madam Chair,
Thank you.
one of the reasons we're in this, and here we're back to empty vessels again. Empty vessels making the most noise. We're rasa. O rasa injalo. Anmazi uNtonipa emhlongo wakhe. Here's the reality. We're in this mess because of Jacob Zuma. Ngamalala. He was president for 7 years. Now here's another 9 years. Okay. All right. 9 years.
Order,
What happened?
honourable members.
What happened with state capture? How much has your president wasted of our money on staying out of court that could have employed more teachers and more doctors? But your president, Ngamalala, stole our money, which he's now using to stay out of court. How much money? I could have employed more teachers. I could have employed more doctors with the money that your president, Jacob Zuma, has stolen from our fiscus. That's the reality why we're in this position. You wanted politics, let me give you the politics. And I'm not here to debate expropriation. I don't know why you are. That's not the platform. That's at a national level. Maybe with your MBA you can become a member of the National Assembly. Here's something that nobody picked up, I think Honourable Browder, that since this government of provincial unity took over, we were projecting to overspend by 10 billion rand. That is reduced currently to under 1 billion. Now, if that's not a success from the GPU, then I don't know what is. The reality is, the MK want to take over this province and this government so that they can steal more like they did when Jacob Zuma was the president. That's exactly what it's all about. The Treasury, my own department, has cut its expenditure by 12 million rand. Why? Because we want to introduce a procurement system which will stop corruption, which at an SEM level will save us millions and millions of rand. I'm not sure what the members of finance committee and MK actually sit and do in those committees, because these are issues that you should be driving in your committee. The MK says it'll reject the budget, so does the EFF. Well, you lost the last time this budget came around. You'll probably lose again. But remember that if the budget is not passed, what are you going to explain to teachers, to nurses, to doctors, to the pupils out there, to people living with social development requirements? What are you going to explain? That you pro-poor? You're not pro-poor, you pro yourself. That's all you want, is you want to get more. And we won't let you capture the province. Honourable Browder, just a couple of things, and thank you for some of the issues you've raised. The Department of Education and Public Works have resolved their disputes, and everything is under control there, so I can assure the people of the province that things are happening. And when it comes to the Department of Education, again, my friends on the left here that don't really want to listen, there is a staff verification process happening in the department, and Treasury is actually part of it. So we're doing oversight of that problem. When it comes to health, the MEC of Health, the one that's apparently so corrupt according to Honourable Dirks, we have had a discussion about the situation around EMRS and around ambulances and the possibility of public-private partnerships. So we're being proactive. So don't come here and grandstand about ambulances. In fact, the numbers that were quoted were horribly wrong. But I know that a lot of people on the left here come out of the Jacob Zuma School of Maths, and they don't quite understand 1 million from 1 trillion to 1 billion. I mean, we've seen that. What this Treasury has also done, what this Treasury and this GPU has also done, is where there are capital projects that are being undertaken by departments so that we avoid the situation of over-expenditure, is we are ring-fencing that money so that when SMMEs and these emerging contractors come in and do work, we can ensure that they get paid on time. That is progressive. That is not looking after white monopoly capital, it's looking after emerging contractors. So where this claptrap comes from about racist neoliberal nonsense, I fail to understand. But this is the dialogue, the rhetoric that you use when you don't have any argument. You can talk about cash blocking that Treasury has introduced, also to avoid over-expenditure, because there was some howling about over-expenditure. This budget's not going to get us out of trouble. The Department of Education is going to overspend. This department's going to overspend. This is why we're putting these systems in place. Honourable Kanye, you must remember that the MK in the National Assembly, you're the minority. You're just a little nobody. So when it comes to VAT, don't come here and grandstand. You are insignificant in the bigger picture. Here you might be the majority, but in the National Assembly, again, this might be because you come out of the Jacob Zuma School of Maths. You talk about you're on the side of the poor. Where were you on the side of the poor when Jacob Zuma stole money? Where were you? Where were you? You all had ANC T-shirts on in those days. All of you had ANC T-shirts. Dirks might have had a DA T-shirt, Honourable Dirks. Because I remember he was DA, then he was the DA, ANC, and then MK, Honourable Dirks. And wasn't he also the deputy mayor of the city that collapsed under him? But he's got a lot to say here. And where is he now? Babalagel. And mas wa fil Ntoni pai jacket. But let me not go there. But that's the reality. You know, Honourable Kanye, there were two of you, Honourable Dirks and yourself.
Honourable MEC, please can you refer to me when speaking?
Yourself, through you, Madam Speaker, Honourable Kanye and Honourable Dirks, you spoke about budget cuts. Please explain where the budget cuts are. This is the first year there are no budget cuts. So I don't know if you're looking at the 24-25 budget, but we're dealing with the 26-27. Please just check the dates on the budget that you're going through. There are no budget cuts. There are no budget cuts. And if you think there are, then you need to go and redo your MBA. And there was another statement. Honourable Duma corrected me. When you come here unprepared, that is the most embarrassing thing of all. Honourable Kanye says to us that health got more than education. Where, my man? I don't know what budget you're looking at, but it's not our budget. Education got 66.6 billion. Health got 56.2 billion. Please, go to an optician, test your eyes, and look at the figures, and come here with constructive input, not no sense input. We don't need that. So, Honourable Twala, you spoke about own revenue and the decline. Yes, but again, we've been on top of our game. You will soon be getting the new Gaming and Betting Act, the bill, which will come to the legislature. And there you will see that there's additional revenue that we're going to be raising through casino tax and horse racing tax. Also the Liquor Act. We are adapting and changing the Liquor Act, which is also going to generate additional revenue. So, you know, when you come here again and you grandstand, you say this GPU is not looking at revenue, that's incorrect. You're misleading yourself. And you're misleading the people, and that's why a party like the EFF is in decline, and you're collapsing. People don't believe you anymore. That's the reality. One of the reasons that we have a problem is exactly because of the economic climate in the province, and it's patient fees that have become a problem because of our current economy. But that is something that we're discussing with the MEC of Health, and we'll come up with a solution and a way forward. There's also this narrative that departments are not going to be able to pay their salaries. Now, I don't, Anmaz, Honourable
Honourable
Kika, through
MEC.
you, Madam Speaker.
Sorry, Honourable MEC, please can you take a seat? Yes, Honourable Member, what rule do you rise on?
Madam Speaker, I'm rising on Rule 61D, 1D. 61, 1D.
61 1D.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Honourable Member.
The
You may
honourable
proceed.
member that is standing there, he keeps repeating into eyodwa ukuthi upresident wabantu base South Africa. Wantsho utshizimali nobunencane. Akakaze.
Honourable members, please, can I listen?
Ukuthi wagwetshwa kuphi nini? Ngoba kuyina namhlanje akakaze agwetshwe.
Honourable member.
Sikwaziyo uRamos wakonfess.
Honourable member.
ukuthi yena
Honourable member. Honourable member. Honourable member. Honourable member, please. Honourable member. Honourable member. Honourable member. Honourable member. Honourable members, please can I make a ruling? Honourable member, please stand. Honourable member, please. Honourable members, please can I make a ruling? Honourable member, the rule that you rise on 61D says serious allegations against a member. Honourable Jacob Zuma is not a member of this House. He is an ex-president. So unless it was against a member in this sitting, I will ask you to please sit down. Thank you.
we are
Thank you. Thank you. Honourable members. Thank you so much. Honourable MEC, you may continue.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Perhaps it's time again that the opposition are educated on the rules of the House.
Order.
Because that was just absolute grandstanding, in my opinion. So I've dealt with Honourable Twala. I wanted to talk a little bit about this rumour or this from the opposition benches that departments won't pay salaries. Salaries are ring-fenced and salaries are run by the banker of the province. Departments do not have access to that money, and we've done that to ensure that at no stage will we compromise any single employee of this province when it comes to salaries. So to come here and say, oh, you're not going to be able to pay, please get your facts right. Try and understand budgeting and how we run. When you go to committees, when you're in your finance committees or whatever portfolio, contribute, listen, don't sleep, don't go outside and take phone calls, contribute, become constructive in your opposition, and you will learn. You will eventually be able to contribute to debates of this nature. We've done an exercise, Honourable Twala, through you, Deputy Chair, Deputy Speaker, on the cleaning and security costs. And it's going to cost us double if we take it on board in the province. Don't listen to Zwakele Mwangu, who knows nothing about finance. I worked with him. He is fiscally delinquent and he doesn't understand finance. So please don't, and I know he's an advisor to the MK as well. He was the one that told MK that it's a copy and paste budget. Please, if you want advice on finance, come to me. I will assist you and I will help you. And that's the one thing, Honourable Dirks. I know he's quite pompous, Honourable Dirks, and he quite likes himself. And he quoted himself in his presentation. That's unheard of, but anyway, we'll allow him that opportunity. What he forgets in his quote is that he also called it a copy and paste. Now today he changed it to say, it's an ANC budget. He forgets that. He must go back and listen to the Hansard recording. Now, you know, Honourable Dirks, when you move across political parties the way you have, through you, Deputy Speaker, then you've got to question your morality, your principles when it comes to politics. I mean, I certainly wouldn't jump from one extreme to the other. You know, Honourable Dirks here today is saying, you know, what, racist and liberals and whatever. He didn't call us that when he was in the DA. He didn't call us that. So, you know, I'm not sure what changed.
Honourable MEC. Honourable Member, please. Can we have some decorum in the House? Yes, Honourable Makubane, what rule do you rise on?
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. I'm rising on Rule 57(1)(a), point of order, for Rule 61(d). Honourable Chief Whip has never been the member of the DA. If you can tell us when was he a member of the DA, ever since 80s, he was a veteran, actually from the early ages of his
Honourable
from
members.
the early ages of his life. He was
Honourable
a
Makubane.
veteran,
Honourable Makubane.
working underground.
Honourable Makubane. Honourable Makubane. Honourable members.
When was Honourable Dirks a member of the DA? Which year was that?
Honourable Makubane. Honourable Makubane. Honourable Makubane. Honourable Makubane. Please stand.
Talking nonsense.
Honourable Makubane.
Talking nonsense.
Honourable Makubane. Honourable Makubane. Please stand. First of all, you address me and not to the MEC. That's who you're calling the point of order to.
Apologies, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Sorry, Honourable Member. Huh? Yes. Which part? Which part can be read on? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Member. Do you have proof? Honourable Member?
Thank you very much,
Honourable
Madam.
MEC? I think we should desist on the Honourable Member on being in the Democratic Alliance.
No, that's
There's
fine.
no proof.
If he was here, we could have asked him.
Thank you.
Let me continue with Honourable Dirks, who used to be a member of the ANC, by the way, and today was very critical of the ANC. So I'm not quite sure what changed. But then he was a great, as I said, a successful deputy mayor in the city of Umzinduzi, which looks like a train wreck at the moment. You know, again, Honourable Dirks, you talk about issues in the department through you, Deputy Chair, Deputy Speaker. You talk about challenges in the Department of Health. You went on here ad nauseum about the Premier and who the staff are in the Premier. Again, let me educate the opposition, the ineffective opposition in this House. You can submit questions to ministries, number one, written questions. You can make oral questions. You can actually write to the Premier. If you serve in the Premier's portfolio committee...
Honourable MEC, there is a hand. Please may you take your seat.
Again, I didn't
Please
say
take your
anything
seat.
about Jacob Zuma.
Honourable Member, what rule do you rise on?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Mam Kaula is back again. Madam Speaker, I rise on Rule 74, 1D. Now,
Yes, Honourable Member.
the honourable member there is speaking about...
Honourable Members, I cannot hear the Honourable Member. Please,
Yeah.
please, can I hear the Honourable Member and her point? Honourable Member, you may continue.
The honourable member there is speaking about our chief whip, Honourable Dirks, and is referring to him as an old train wreck or something.
What?
And that is, what is it?
Honourable member, can one person please speak? You can't all speak.
Can you please withdraw the word that is said to Honourable Thamsanqa? That is a training.
Honourable members, please, can I hear the honourable member so I can make a ruling? Please continue. Continue. Honourable member, no. Honourable member. Honourable member. You cannot rise on a point of order but be disorderly yourself. Ageko umlungu, it is an honourable member.
Okay, Honourable Omelaphan.
Honourable MEC Francois Rogers.
Honourable MEC.
Honourable members, please, can we have some decorum?
Honourable MEC, ukhulume amazwi unparliamentary. Honourable Chief Whip uMelvin. Sicela withdraw.
Athini,
train esibonile nobefindo. Akayilungise akayikho withdraw.
Honourable members, please can I make a ruling? Please, honourable member, please remain standing if you're going to make a ruling. A train wreck is not unparliamentary. It's not an unparliamentary language. It's just in the spirit of debate, honourable member. Thank you. You may sit down now. Honourable MEC, please can you speak? Honourable MEC.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Sorry, Honourable Chief Whip.
Honourable Speaker, I stand up on Road 75. 1.
Yes, honourable member. Yes, Chief Whip.
An honourable member who spoke on a point of order to withdraw the word or the name Umlungu.
Honourable members, please. Yeah.
They must not withdraw, but apologize.
Honourable Chief Whip. Honourable Chief Whip, please may you rise. Honourable Chief Whip, I cannot speak on a ruling that I've already ruled on, but it is noted, and I did tell her to please not say that. But it is noted. Thank you. Honourable members. Honourable MEC, please can you continue? Honourable Dirks, please can you have some handle on your members? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You know, as I said at the last debate, I've been in politics for a very, very long time. Sticks and stones and words, you know, might break your bones, but they'll never harm me. What I do find interesting is that people like Honourable Dirks, Honourable Seme, can sit here and slate the DA and slate the GPU, and we don't stand up and howl. We listen and we tolerate it. But the minute I have things to say about MK, where my me ziyakhala igazi. Oh, hi man. You need to become a spear, man. You can take this. Believe me, as a spear you must take it. Kwaza mkonto, kwaza. Mususaba, kwaza. So, Honourable Dirks, through you, Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, he talks about health and the appointments of consultants, and he goes on at the Premier, and I'm wondering if he's ever raised this before
Honourable
to get
MEC.
a proper answer.
Honourable MEC, please take your seats. Honourable Dirks.
I rise on Rule 57(1)(d), Madam Speaker, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable MEC. Honourable Dirks would like to know if you'd like to take a question.
Hayi namhlanje.
Thank you so much.
Yabona ke,
You may continue, Honourable
Mama
MEC.
Sumlom. Wathethi Xhosa anmazi uDirks ukhuluma Afrikaans. Mina, I've taken the opportunity to learn an African language. I wonder whether the Honourable Dirks has ever done that, because that comes back to political opportunism. But here's the question, through you to Honourable Dirks. If you've got issues with the Premier's department, have you written to the Office of the Premier? Have you put written questions to the Office of the Premier? Did you write to the MEC of Health with the accusations? Have you in fact gone to lay charges if in fact you have evidence of misappropriation in the Department of Health? Because indeed, if you haven't, you're part of the problem, Honourable Dirks. Through you, Madam Chair, you're not part of the solution. And that's where I want to end it. As a government, as a collective,
Honourable
no matter,
MEC. Honourable members.
Yeah, now you're switching it off on there.
Honourable member, you rose on a point of
Honourable
order
Deputy
not to
Speaker,
speak.
I'm
Honourable member, you can rise on your point of order, but please address me. You don't have to add addendums. Thank you.
No, apologies, Deputy Speaker, but it was switched off on that side. That is why it was not coming on here. Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm rising on point 57(1)D.
Honourable MEC, the honourable member would like to know if you want to take a question.
yeah, they will, I understand. You know, Madam Speaker,
Thank you.
when the contribution in the
Please sit.
debate has been as pathetic as it is from the House on the left, then really, don't ask me questions now. But here's the reality, and I hope the people of KwaZulu-Natal watch this debate to see who and what is the effective
Honourable
government
MEC.
in the province.
I do apologise for the interruption. Please be seated. Honourable Kika, what rule do you rise on?
I rise on Rule 74(1)(A).
Yes, honourable member, you may
Sitting
continue.
down on that point of order, the Honourable Magubane called the MC a coward. A cow. Okay? Coward. A coward. As he sat down. May I ask you to refer to Hansard? And there's an honourable member in OC now also calling him, confirming that he did indeed call him a coward. May you look at
Honourable-
Hansard and come back
Honourable
to the
Dirks.
ruling, because that is
Sorry, Honourable
unparliamentary.
Kika. Honourable Dirks, I am struggling to hear because of so much noise from the MK. Honourable Dirks? Honourable Dirks, I am speaking to you. I am struggling to hear. Your members are speaking too loud. Thank you. Honourable Kika, please may you continue?
So that is offensive, and he, in your ruling, will wait for it. Hopefully he will be instructed to withdraw.
Thank you. Honourable Dirks, Honourable Kika, I did not hear the cow, but I do ask that is unparliamentary. Honourable Dirks, would you withdraw? Makubane. Honourable Makubane, please may you withdraw.
Deputy Madam Speaker, I never called the Honourable MEC a cow.
A coward. Honourable Makubane, a coward, sorry.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I withdraw.
Honourable Dirks, please, your members are being unruly. Honourable Makubane, did you call Honourable MEC a coward? Pardon? Did you withdraw? Can you please stand and put it forward that you do withdraw?
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I withdraw.
Thank you. Honourable MEC, please can you continue?
The reality is, Madam Speaker, that the House on the left is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to the people of this province and an embarrassment to a budget, which is an important process. but I think the people out there will see it. What I want to end off by saying, Madam Deputy Speaker, is that this government of provincial unity has a task. We take our task very seriously, and we will continue to implement our budget to the effect and the improvement of the lives of everybody in KZN. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, honourable members. Thank you, honourable members. Honourable members. Honourable members. We have come to the end of the general budget debate. The House needs to vote on the finance and the stack of reports. We will deal with both in turn, starting with the Finance Committee report. As for the request of the Finance Portfolio Committee, I now put the question to the House in which as follows. The KwaZulu-Natal Legislature agrees to adopt the report of the Finance Committee. As I indicated, the Speaker indicated prior to the start of the debate, I will now go party by party to obtain the votes and therefore check if any member wishes to record an individual vote. I will now go party by party. MKP. Please, may we assist table staff?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My apologies. I'm coming from a deep rural area of Emadungeni. As Umkhonto weSizwe, we reject this budget. Thank you.
Thank you. EFF.
Thank you very much, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Greetings to yourself. The Economic Freedom Fighters reject. Thanks.
Thank you. NFP.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, the NFP supports the report.
DA.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The Democratic Alliance supports.
ANC.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. The African National Congress supports.
IFP.
Honourable Speaker.
Deputy Speaker, I support.
Members, we have the votes for all the parties. Is there any member who wishes to express? Honourable members, is there any member who wishes to express an individual vote that is different from their party vote or to abstain? If there is none, I will ask the Secretary for a tally of the votes. Madam Secretary, you have 5 minutes to tally the votes. The doors will remain locked. Table staff, start the time for 5 minutes. Please. Honourable members, Honourable Dirks, we are still in voting. Honourable Dirks, Honourable Makubane, Please, can you allow the table staff to do their jobs? Please allow the table staff to do their jobs. Madam Secretary, please, can you provide the House with the results as you have concluded?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The total number of members present for the record is 79, with 76 attending physically and 3 attending on the virtual platform. Just for the record, the 3 on the virtual platform is Honourable Ban Prakash from the IFP, Honourable Sitoli Moloi from the ANC, and Honourable Twala from the EFF. There is 1 vacant position in the House, thus giving us that 79. The voting results are therefore as follows. Votes in favour, 40. Votes against, 38. Abstentions, nil. Total excluding the presiding officer is 78. In terms of section 1122 of the Constitution, the presiding officer does not have a
Honourable members, please can we allow the Secretary to continue? Sorry, Honourable Secretary. Well, Dirks, please do not speak out of turn. If you have something to say, you press the mic and you rise. Thank you.
In terms of section 1122 of the Constitution, the presiding officer does not have a deliberative vote.
Thank you.
Under the circumstances, and only has a casting vote if there is an equality of votes. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. We have the votes as tallied. Votes in favour 40, votes against 38, abstentions nil. We will now move to the stack of reports. As Honourable Dirks, we are still voting. Please, may you sit. It was recorded that she was on the platform. We checked she was on the platform. No. Honourable Dirks, please don't point to the table staff. We will continue as per the request of Stakov. I now put the question to the House as follows. The KwaZulu-Natal Legislature agrees to adopt the reports of Stakov. As I indicated prior to the start of the debate, I will now go party by party to obtain the vote and therefore check if any member wishes to record an individual vote. We will start with the MKP for the Stakov report.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. We reject.
Thank you, EFF.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. The Economic Freedom Fighters is working against this Stakov report. Thanks.
Thank you, NFP.
Somnowo, the NFP votes in favour of the Stakov report.
Thank you, DA.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The Democratic Alliance supports the report.
ANC.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. The African National Congress vote in support of the Stakov report.
Thank you, IFP.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. The IFP votes in support.
Thank you. Members, I have the votes of all parties. Is there any member who wishes to express an individual vote that is different from their party vote or to abstain? Madam Secretary, you then have again 5 minutes or less. The doors will remain closed. Table staff, please may you calculate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The results are still the same. The total number of members present is 79, with 76 attending physically and 3 members attending on the virtual platform. They are Honourable Ban Prakash from the IFP, Honourable Sitoli Moloi from the ANC, and Honourable Twala from the EFF. The total number of, there is 1 vacant position. The voting results are therefore as follows. Votes in favour 40, votes against 38, abstentions nil. Total excluding the presiding officer is 78. In terms of section 1122 of the Constitution, the presiding officer does not have a deliberative vote under the circumstances and only has a casting vote if there is an equality of votes. Those are the results. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honourable members, I therefore formally declare the results as follows. votes in favor 40, votes against 38, abstentions nil. The ayes have had it. Honourable members, therefore there comes to the end of the order paper and the general budget debate has concluded. Thank you. Honourable members, we have come to the end of the budget debate. Honourable members, as per the budget sitting programme, we will now proceed to the Committee of the Whole House, wherein we will deal with the budget votes of Vote 1, which will be the budget vote of the Office of the Premier, Community Safety and Liaison, which will take us through. After lunch, we will resume with double streams, dealing with 2 votes at any given stage for the upcoming 3 days of the budget plenaries, Friday the 25th of April, Tuesday the 29th of April, except for the last day, which is Friday, the 2nd of May 2025, where we will reconvene at the chamber again for Vote 2, which is the Legislature 1, and then resume with voting on the KZN Appropriation Bill 2025. The streams will be as follows for today. Vote 9, which is a vote on Community Safety and Liaison, which will take place at Ingunga Committee Room, and Vote 4, which is the vote on Economic Development, Tourism and Economic Affairs, taking place here at the chamber, which will take us to the end of the day. As you're aware, today from lunch, 24 April 2025, until the 2nd of May 2025, budget votes will be processed through extended committees of the House in 2 separate debates, which will be taking place at the same times. The venues are the committee room and the chamber. However, I reiterate that on Friday, the 2nd of May, the budget vote would be the last one and would be processed here at the chamber and will be followed by voting by the House on the KwaZulu-Natal Appropriation Bill 2025. The chairing of debates will be undertaken by various chairpersons as per roster, as assigned by the chairperson of committees, Honourable Dr. NNG Mahlaba, and those will be Honourable Kunene, Honourable Fraser, Honourable Biela, Honourable Sithole Moloi, Honourable Dlamini, Honourable Kika, and then it repeats. Honourable members, therefore, until the 2nd of May at 11:30 a.m., the House therefore adjourns until then. Thank you so much, honourable members. We are done with this session.
No.
Omafika nama-blazer custard.
Order.
Back to Nkandla. Kahle mafika ne-custard. Veteran Dexter, you may be seated.
Defend it here, Ismar.
Ngamalala, 1970 he was a veteran.
Thanks. Enough of veterans, Honourable Moyo. Thank you very much. Let's settle down. Honourable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip, Honourable Premier, Leader of Government Business, Honourable MECs and Honourable Members. We are going to now start with our second session, which is the budget vote on Premier. We are going to, honourable members, must note that this is a hybrid session, and standing rules, normal standing rules would apply to this debate. I must reiterate that the ruling of the Speaker, which relates to the connectivity problems, the Speaker has ruled that the following measures will be adopted to try and assist members who may not be able to participate in a debate due to connectivity challenges. If a member has problems with connectivity and is unable to deliver his or her speech, the presiding officer will call the next speaker on the speaker's list so as not to delay the proceedings. If a member regains connectivity before a response to the debate has commenced, the presiding officer will be flexible to allow that member to contribute. Secondly, request that a member who is scheduled to participate in a debate should arrange for a fellow party member to be on standby to read the member's speech in the record should the need arise. The presiding officer will allow a fellow party member to read out the speech on behalf of the member. If all interventions fail, a member is still unable to deliver his or her speech and has not managed to arrange for a fellow party member or whip to deliver the speech on his or her behalf, that speech will unfortunately not form part of the official record of proceedings. In short, if members have connectivity problems, the presiding officers will follow the above guidance to try and assist them. Lastly, members who are not actively part of the debate are reminded to mute their microphones and switch off their cameras at all times. Also, members are requested to take all reasonable measures to reduce any background noises that may interfere with the broadcasting of proceedings. Honourable members, I wish to confirm that the budget report for 2025-26 of the Office of the Premier has been tabled in terms of rules. We'll now proceed with the matters on the agenda, which is a debate on vote 1. But there was a request, honourable members, that we, in terms of the speakers list here, we allow the Premier to present the report, and then we also have a report by the chairperson of the committee. After that, we adjourn for 45 minutes, not an hour, for lunch. And then after lunch, we come back here to resume with the proceedings and then finish the other members on the speakers list. Is that okay, honourable members? Thank you. We'll now call upon the Honourable Premier, Umpemba Mr. Ntuli, to come and deliver the report. Over to you, Premier.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chair of Chairs, Honourable Speaker, Honourable Deputy Speaker, the Leader of Government Business, Honourable Duma, Honourable Members of the Executive, Ndabezitha Inkosi Yesizwe, Honourable Members of the Legislature, members of the public in the gallery. A few days from today, our country will on the 27th of April celebrate 31 years of freedom from apartheid rule. This is the day on which, on the ashes of apartheid, we witness the birth of a new nation with its values anchored firmly on the Constitution and the supremacy of the rule of law. On this day, it is worth recalling that in its preamble, our Constitution aims to heal the division of the past and establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights, improve the quality of life of all citizens, and free the potential of each person, lay the foundations for a democratic and open society in which government is based on the will of the people, and in which every citizen is equal, protected by law, and build a united and democratic South Africa that can take its rightful place as a sovereign state in the family of nations. In this regard, we are guided by the founding provisions, among which are human dignity, the achievement of equality, and the advancement of human rights and freedom, non-racialism and non-sexism, and the supremacy of the Constitution. As we enter the 25-26 financial year, the Office of the Premier has a duty through the budget to demonstrate our full commitment to our key mandate of central coordination, and as the apex department, our capacity to lead the government of KwaZulu-Natal on this journey towards a truly free South Africa based on our Constitution. As I rise, Chair, to present Budget Vote 1, Office of the Premier, it is thus with a renewed sense of hope, achievement, and optimism as we allocate funding to the commitments we made during our State of the Province address on the 28th of February. We announced the adoption of the medium-term development plan and outlined the key priorities of our 7th administration, which are aligned to those of the national government led by His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa. These are to drive inclusive economic growth and job creation, to reduce poverty and tackle the high cost of living, and to build a capable, ethical, and developmental state. Our resolve as the Office of the Premier is to lead a government defined by accelerated service delivery while addressing poverty, unemployment, and inequality. We also want to see KwaZulu-Natal take its place as a leading province, with its people exhibiting unmatched excellence and exemplary leadership wherever they are. The budget we announced today is one step on the path of renewed hope and is detailed below. The program structure of the Office of the Premier is as follows: administration, institutional development, policy, and governance. The total budget for the Office of the Premier for the 2025-2026 financial year is 817,875,000. I will now give an overview of the program structure and thereafter discuss each program. The purpose of Program 1 is administration. The purpose of this program is to provide administrative support to the Office of the Premier, Executive Council, and the Director General in fulfilling their legislative and oversight functions and promoting cooperative governance and ensuring sound financial management, support, and advisory services within the Office of the Premier. There are 5 sub-programs, namely Premier Support, Executive Council Support, Director General Support, Financial Management, and Intergovernmental Relations. The sub-program Premier Support has been allocated a budget of 30,477 million to provide technical, administrative, and advisory support to the Premier in the executing his constitutional mandate. The sub-program Executive Council Support has been allocated a budget of 12,465 million to provide secretariat support services to the Executive Council, Cabinet, Zindaba, clusters, and key provincial committees. The sub-program Director General Support has been allocated a budget of 30,570 million to provide administrative support to the Director General in strategically managing the province. The sub-program Financial Management has been allocated a budget of 118,755 million to provide sound financial management support and advisory services to the Premier and Director General fulfilling their legislative and oversight functions and in promoting good corporate governance. The sub-program Intergovernmental Relations has been allocated a budget of 45,459 million. Intergovernmental relations aims to improve inter- and intra-governmental relations and promote effective cooperative governance through the implementation of the IGR Act. In line with the priorities of the 7th administration, over 2025 to 2026, we will focus on the review of the provincial IGR strategy, which will be preceded by wide consultations amongst the relevant partners in all three spheres of government. There will be a focus on strengthening the Premier's coordinating forum as the uppermost IGR structure of coordination of all spheres by the Premier. This will be done through a program of action which will be developed for the PCF to facilitate effective local government and governance. Partnering with local government beyond mayors, including Izinduna and municipal managers, and the participation in the PCF. The strengthening of the technical PCF, including attendance by municipal managers. The OTP will conduct war room audits and ensure the development of SMS members by the sector departments and municipalities along with the implementation of the Operation Sungmasake revitalization strategy, which will focus on profiling as well as the coordination of field workers in districts that were not prioritized in 2024-2025. In 2025-2026, Office of the Premier will focus on the implementation of resolutions from a district development model in Daba 2024-2025 for improved service delivery coordination. International relations play a strategic role in positioning the province as the tourism and investment destination of choice and economic development of our province. This is key to enhancement of skills transfer, training and educational opportunities, exchanges, sharing of best practices, expanding our global climate action network to reflect a shared commitment to address the climate crisis, as well as promoting people-to-people relations. Among the international engagements will be the following: G20 site events planned for KwaZulu-Natal, 26th International Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome Conference from 13 to 17 July 2025 in Rwanda, Under 2 Coalition at New York, a Climate Week in September 2025 in the USA. On Program 2, Institutional Development, the purpose of this program is to coordinate the transformation of the public service and provide institutional development and support to the KZN provincial government. This program comprises of the following sub-program: strategic human resources, legal services, information communications technology, communication services, special programs and forensic investigations and integrity management. The sub-program, strategic human resources, is allocated 132,013 million. The strategic human resource sub-program is responsible for coordinating strategic human resources management in provincial government and coordinate the development and implementation of a transversal human resource management strategies, systems, policies, coordinates implementation of employee health and wellness in the provincial administration. The Office of the Premier, in conjunction with all 12 provincial departments, will be implementing the reviewed provincial human resource strategy with effect from April 2025, which will focus on implementing 5 pillars, which are interventions for the professionalization of the public service to build a capable, ethical, and developmental state. We will intensify employee health and wellness interventions across all 4 pillars, namely health and productivity management, human immunity deficiency, a virus, which is HIV, tuberculosis, which is TB, and sexual transmitted infection, STIs management, safety, health, environment, risk, and quality management, and wellness management. A comprehensive set of programs has been developed to enhance and foster healthy lifestyle, promote a culture of well-being across the department. This includes educational workshops, wellness screenings, psychosocial support services, the recreational activities, and health awareness campaigns. As part of repositioning the Provincial Public Service Training Academy, an e-learning platform has been launched. The implementation of e-learning ensures a cost-effective, efficient, and flexible approach to learning. The Operation Bow projects will continue to be the priority area to ensure the speedy finalization of disciplinary cases. These include a continuous development of a multidisciplinary crack team, training interventions, and constant monitoring and monthly reporting. In this financial year, we will intensify the implementation of the results of skills audit, focusing on catalytic training programs, such as the digital skilling of public servants, as well I'm sorry, Madam Speaker. I'm sorry, Honourable Chair, for the gadgets. Well, thank you, Chair. I will not listen to a comment which is unfortunate. I will ignore the oral member. The sub-program Strategic Human Resource is allocated 133.013 million. The Strategic Human Resource sub-program is responsible for coordinating strategic human resource management in provincial government and coordinate the development and implementation of a transversal human resource management strategies, system policies, coordinates implementation of employee health and wellness in the provincial administration. The Office of the Premier, in conjunction with all 12 provincial departments, will be implementing the reviewed provincial human resource strategy with effect from April 2025, as I have outlined before. As part of repositioning the Provincial Public Service Training Academy, an e-learning platform has been launched. The implementation of e-learning ensures a cost-effective, efficient, and flexible approach to learning. The Operation Bow, as I've mentioned already, project will continue, and in this financial year will intensify the implementation of the result of the skills audits. Through these interventions, KwaZulu-Natal is now leading in the country in terms of the number of government officials being trained through the National School of Governance. Some of the training interventions have been implemented through the model of partnership with tertiary institutions. The sub-program Information Communication Technology, ICT, is hereby allocated 79.428 million. The purpose of this sub-program is to coordinate the government information and communication technology in the province and to render internal ICT support to the Office of the Premier. The strategic objective and functions of the sub-program are to achieve and improve ICT governance in the province and at the department. To bolster our efforts to position our province to be a smart province, enormous strides have been made in implementing key components of the provincial digital transformation strategy. A major milestone in this journey has been the automation of essential tools such as Operation Sukuma Sake's case management system, household profiling, and war room functionality audit, which has improved service delivery by streamlining case handling and response time. Furthermore, with cybercrime posing an increasing threat to digital transformation, the province has launched proactive measures to enhance cybersecurity resilience. The establishment of the provincial cybersecurity framework serves as a critical defense mechanism against cyber threats, focusing on strengthening security protocols, raising awareness, and fostering a cybersecurity conscious culture across all departments. The key intervention earmarked for 2025-2026 will include a piloting of cybersecurity education initiatives and the development of digital ambassadors to educate communities and scholars on best practices for cybersecurity. The unit will continue to roll out various IT systems in 2025-2026, including the provincial broadband connectivity project for all the departments in the province, as well as the implementation of the digital transformation strategy, a data management tool, as well as the automation of the annual performance plan, operational plans, and employee performance management development system. The sub-program legal services is allocated 19.546 million. The Office of the Premier will continue to provide comprehensive and professional internal legal support services to OTP, as well as interdepartmental transversal state law advisory services to departments. Additional functions include the certification of all internal and provincially applicable policies drafted by the various line functions unit in the Office of the Premier, compliance by all departments with constitutional imperatives and requirements of all applicable transversal legislation. The sub-program communication services is allocated 71.166 million. The provincial government communication services provide integrated and coordinated provincial government communication across all provincial departments, local government and public entities to ensure coherence governance messaging through one government, one message, and a multiplicity of voices. Using a variety of platforms, including radio, television, print, and digital media, our communication unit will connect with diverse audiences as an instrument to foster trust and encourage active participation from the broadest section of members of our community. The sub-program special programs receives 15.803 million. This sub-program provides and coordinates security services for the Office of the Premier and the provincial government. A vetting fieldwork unit will be established to coordinate the screening of provincial employees, which will allow for better resource allocation, improve collaboration and greater synergy. In ensuring and promoting a safe and secured working environment, security upgrades and maintenance of equipment and personnel will be prioritized. The sub-program, Forensic Investigations and Integrate Management, will receive 44,950 million. This sub-program is responsible for undertaking forensic investigation services as well as integrity management services for all departments. The sub-program is committed to the fight against fraud and corruption and will embark on numerous initiatives to curb this plague. This will be done through an approved forensic investigations framework and will act with no fear of losing any form of blue lights. There are plans to intensify collaboration with law enforcement agencies on matters under criminal investigations. Consistent liaising will be conducted to assess the progress of the top priority cases and criminal investigations within the province which emanate from provincial forensic investigations. Again, there will be stronger collaboration with the KZN Department of Cooperative Governance and Regional Affairs to address fraud, corruption, irregularities, and maladministration occurring in municipalities and municipal entities. There will be a rollout of the forensic case management system that will be used to record, consolidate, and track all forensic investigations conducted in all spheres of provincial government in KwaZulu-Natal. A panel of service providers will be sought and discussions held to encourage client departments, municipalities, and public entities to pay for outsourced investigations emanating from their departments. The panel will expedite the outsourcing of forensic investigations and minimize the turnaround time in the supply chain management processes. The Office of the Premier has also embarked on developing a centralized forensic framework that will ensure that all forensic investigation units in the province are centralized under the KZN Office of the Premier. Currently, some departments have their own forensic units, and this duplicates the resources spent in the province while leading to a lack of objectivity in reporting. Integrity management promotes ethical culture in the province through various programs, which are ethics awareness campaigns for councillors, management, service providers, and ward committees. These campaigns are conducted together with law enforcement agencies in the province and will be intensified as they aim to solicit support and cooperation for whistleblowing and active campaigning against corruption. Provincial government also promoted ethics and integrity through coordination of financial disclosures and conducting of lifestyle audits. Government engages regularly with citizens on service delivery challenges and leads necessary interventions. Several complaints have been received through the presidential hotline, premier hotline, and walk-ins which are resolved and feedback provided to citizens. These platforms are key to strengthening communication with stakeholders and as a link between government and citizens of KwaZulu-Natal. Program 3, Policy and Governance. With a budget of 217,243 million, the purpose of this program is to initiate province-wide development and implementation of policies and strategies, short and long-term plans and programs, as well as the reporting and monitoring of these for provincial government and the support to His Majesty the King. The sub-program, Provincial Policy Management, is allocated 42,826 million. The sub-program focuses on evidence-based decision-making, research and evaluations, and will update the inventory of provincial policies and research projects and coordinate policy through forums and intergovernmental structures. The Provincial Planning Commission will drive provincial planning in alignment with the National Development Plan and the priorities of the national and provincial government. The unit will provide technical planning support services to provincial departments and public entities on the medium-term development plan, support to the finalization priorities, as well as the drafting of the 2026-2027 annual performance plans and updating of the strategic plan as may be necessary. The provincial monitoring and evaluation framework is being reviewed to promote integrated planning, monitoring, reporting, and evaluation in KwaZulu-Natal. This will improve the credibility of data and provide a solid base for evidence-based decision-making. In 2025-2026, the province will implement a digital monitoring and evaluation system and integrated system, enabling accountability across various levels of planning and reporting. The sub-program Premier's priority programs will receive 88,276 million. Chair, the KZN framework on social compacting will be implemented to ensure collaboration between government, communities, business, and civil society, inclusive governance, and effective service delivery. Despite significant progress that we have made, our province remains the epicenter of HIV and AIDS, TB, and STIs. The Office of the Premier will continue to coordinate the multi-sectoral intervention coordination on HIV and AIDS, STIs, and TB. Furthermore, there will be interventions and programs such as the coordination of programs for adolescent and young people. This will include capping child and teenage pregnancies, capacity building workshop for established structures and interventions to end AIDS in children by 2030. This is in line with the South Africa's commitments to the Global Alliance on Ending AIDS in Children. We will continue to ensure that various communities outreach programs such as senior citizens activities, such human rights support initiatives are functional. The Office of the Premier is mandated to coordinate and channel government programs as well as the private sector interventions to the most vulnerable people, with special attention to the most deprived wards of the province, with an intention of reducing the level of poverty in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. As 31 of Freedom Day, 31st of 31 of after 31 years of freedom, it is key that the KwaZulu-Natal provincial government takes a stock of road traversed in the implementation of both a 2020-2023 National Youth Policy as well as 2021-2026 KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Integrated Youth Development Policy. The provincial government of KwaZulu-Natal is launching a strategy for 365 days of activism against gender-based violence. Over and above the youth, women, and people with disabilities, the farming communities, older persons, lesbian, gays, bisexuals, transgender, Q and intersex, plus, and military veterans are also part of the vulnerable groups in our province. The Office of the Premier will ensure that interventions for vulnerable groups are implemented through fostering fruitful partnership with different institutions and intergeneration dialogues, girl, child, and elderly women, boys to men, and others. The sub-program Royal Households received 86,141 million. The Office of the Premier provides active support to the Royal Household Trust. The Zulu Royal House Trust will continue to explore medium to long-term revenue-generating projects, prioritizing property development to ensure the long-term financial sustainability of the Zulu royal family. The Zulu Royal Household Trust will consider public-private partnership, but private sector participation will be prioritized in raising funds for medium to long-term. The Zulu Royal House Trust will continue to explore opportunities in commercial farming and create partnerships with provincial entities specializing in agriculture. The planning and coordination of a fundraising event to celebrate Zulu cultural heritage is underway. And the event is expected to take place in 2025-2026. Honorable Chair, we report that revenue received is 281,000. Revenue mainly comprises revenue from a commission on personal deduction, such as insurance premiums and Kanishi orders and tender fees. May I take this opportunity to thank the Director General, Dr. Nonhlanhla Mkhize, and the staff of the Office of the Premier for their commitment and dedication. I also wish to thank my wife, my family, for supporting me all the time as I go about my duties. I now formally wish to table vote 1 with a budget of 875 million. And I wish to thank you, Honorable Speaker, for affording me an opportunity to table this vote to this august House, and further thank the spirit in which the GPU is conducting its duties to ensure that we address all the challenges that the people of KwaZulu-Natal are faced with. I must exceptionally thank the work of the MEC for Health to ensure that the health system in KwaZulu-Natal is addressing all the challenges that are facing our people in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Programs such as one hospital or one clinic, one garden, they are in fact clear, they are seen, they are live, ensuring that even the issue of food security is being addressed and is being attended to. I know that tomorrow we'll be launching the patching of the potholes in this province because of the leadership provided by the MEC for transport in our province. And I must congratulate the MEC for transport, the MEC for transport for the minimized number of the accidents, fatalities during these festive seasons. And also commend the work that is being done by the MEC for agriculture in ensuring that more than 10,000 farmers are receiving support from the Department of Agriculture. I cannot forget to mention the work done by the MEC for Public Works and Infrastructure in our province, ensuring that those buildings that were not used, that were occupied by illegal, in fact, occupants, are in fact reallocated for the purpose of growing the economy and providing accommodation to the needy people in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. I cannot sit down having not thanked the MEC for social development for the wonderful work he is doing to take care of the victims of gender-based violence, sending the social workers to work with the communities that are affected after the perpetrators. As we know that the scourge of gender-based violence is known. That is well known that we have victims who are the victims of the scourge of gender-based violence. I will not mention the likes of Kwezi and other women who have suffered the scourge of gender-based violence. And the work that is done by the MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture in our province, and we are confident that this province will host the final of Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates successfully because of the leadership of the MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture. And I must congratulate the MEC for ATIA for the wonderful work that is doing in ensuring that investment is coming into our province. In one conference, more than 82 billion was realized, and it's evident that the people of KwaZulu-Natal are benefiting because of this GPU. GPU is working. GPU listens to the people. GPU listens to the needs of the people, and GPU is responding to the needs of the people. While the rest are howlers, noise makers, the GPU is forging ahead to ensure that we provide services, quality services to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. I cannot listen to any noise of the people that may be changed from any time from now, as people are waiting outside to come into this house to occupy certain benches. And I cannot ignore the work that is being done, the MEC for COGTA, to ensure that we enhance the functioning of the municipalities in this province, even where there are allegations of corruption. With this GPU, we are ensuring that COGTA is taking charge of all affairs of municipalities, including the traditional leaders. For the first time, we have the executive that is full-time, fully remunerated in this government of provincial unity. I see future, better future to the people of KwaZulu-Natal because of this GPU. And even the evidence of the results of matric because of the Department of Education led by MEC Tlomuga is evident, is testament that there is evident that the government of provincial unity is working better, is working good for the people of KwaZulu-Natal. While the rest are howlers, while the rest are noisemakers, we will soldier on to ensure that we provide services to the people of this KwaZulu-Natal, and we will ensure that there is no nepotism in hiring of the officials in our offices. We will hire people who qualifies. People with MPA will be hired when they qualify. People with degrees will be employed when they qualify. Irrespective of where they come from, they will be hired when they deserve, and processes will be followed accordingly. We continue as this government of provincial unity to ensure ukuthi abantu bakwaZulu-Natal bayathola idingo zabo, bayabona futhi abantu bakwaZulu-Natal. Even the investor confidence has increased because of this GPU. There is no other evidence you can put on the table that can suggest otherwise, except for those who sit and only wait for these small mistakes and then they exaggerate them. While the people of KwaZulu-Natal, they support the GPU. They know that this GPU is the government that is led by a majority, because the GPU is led by 50+1, and the GPU is soldiering on. We are ensuring that abantu bakwaZulu-Natal bayithola idingo zabo, futhi siqinisekiso sokuthi ngeke kuphinde kube ne-state capture la KwaZulu-Natal noma eSouth Africa. Uma ngabe i-GPU ikhona, ihulumeni obhekelela idingo zabantu, ngiyazi ukuthi leli gama alizwakali ngoba abanye basithanda i-state capture, bayathanda ubaqhutsheke kwebiwe imali zabantu. Lo hulumeni lona uhulumeni owakhelwe ukuguqula impilo zabantu zibe ngcono. Ngiyathokoza kakhulu mhlonishwa Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Premier. Thank you very much, Honourable Premier, for the report. We'll now allow the next speaker, Honourable Fraser, to give us a report.
Thank you, Honourable Chair of Chairs, the Honourable Chair of Chairs, the Honourable Premier, Leader of Government Business, Mtombeni, your Executive Council, Honourable Premier, esteemed members of the August House. I welcome the opportunity to table the 2025-26 budget report of the Portfolio Committee on Premier, Community Safety and Liaison, which focuses on Vote 1, Office of the Premier. This briefly outlines the deliberations on the 2025-26 APP and budget. The areas covered in the report by the Honourable Premier are the ones in which the committee has a keen interest. The Portfolio Committee met with the Office of the Premier and the Zulu Royal Household Trust on the 27th of March 2025 to discuss their respective final APPs and budget for 2025-2026 financial year. Unlike last year, Honourable Chairperson, we acknowledge that these documents were presented to the public on the 30th of January 2025 at Impendle Local Municipality during the stakeholders engagement session. The purpose was to get contributions from the various stakeholders as we are so mandated by the Section 118 of the Constitution of the Republic. The committee noted and observed that the Office of the Premier has recognized that if the state is not capable, ethical and developmental in its approach, it will not be able to deliver all other priorities. The Portfolio Committee was informed that the Office of the Premier had focused on many critical areas, including but not limited to building improved governance and accountability, improved evidence-informed service delivery, professional and ethical provincial administration. As part of its oversight role, the committee will closely track the progress on the implementation of the finance and SCOPA resolutions during the 2025-26 financial year. This will be through the utilization of the resolution tracking mechanism on the monthly and quarterly basis as per the SOM. The tracking resolutions will be done to ensure that the Portfolio Committee performs vigorous oversight over the financial resources and service delivery performance of the department. The committee is cognizant that the Office of the Premier is responsible for ensuring stability within government departments through its provision of strategic leadership and coordinating function of the provincial administration. The committee understands that the Office of the Premier is mainly responsible for leading and coordinating all national and provincial priorities applicable to the province. The committee has noted that the Office of the Premier's 2025-26 provincial allocation has increased slightly from last financial year allocation of 784 million to 817 million. This budget increase, which comes to a mere 4.3%, represents an inflationary increase. The department has not received any extra allocation. The Portfolio Committee noted that due to the shrinking fiscus in the country, departments do not get any additional allocation and must use whatever they have. The Portfolio Committee has observed that the Office of the Premier within its budget has prioritized funds between programs to address the spending pressures. In this regard, funds were moved from Program 3 to Program 1 and 2 to cater for shortfalls in goods and services as well as compensation of employees. The committee will exercise vigorous oversight to ensure that no program will suffer due to reprioritization of funds. The committee noted that a transfer payment to the KZN Zulu Royal Household Trust amounted to 27 million for the 2025-2026 financial year. This is an important transfer aimed at ensuring provision of administration, maintenance and management of the assets of the ZR entity, including the royal palaces and farms, amongst others. The committee will be playing financial and non-financial oversight roles over the final allocation of 817 million allocated to the Office of the Premier in 2025-26 financial year for carrying out its mandate of being a coordinating function and bridging the gap between the provincial departments, DPSA, DPME, and providing strategic leadership and direction to provincial departments. Members voting on 2025-2026 Vote 1 budget. Majority of the Portfolio Committee members at the meeting supported the 2025-26 Vote 1 budget of the Office of the Premier. Inkatha Freedom Party voted in support. African National Congress voted in support. Democratic Alliance voted in support. Umkhonto weSizwe Party exercised abstinence. Minorities were not represented as Honourable Thamsanqa of the EFF did not attend the meeting. Honourable Chairperson, in playing its oversight over the above allocated budget for the Office of the Premier and the Zulu Royal Household Trust for the 2025-2026 MTEF, the committee wishes to bring to the attention of the House that the committee desires to assist the Office of the Premier to continue being a leading example to other departments in achieving clean audit outcomes. The sector oversight model mechanism will be utilized extensively by the committee to ensure the portfolio committee effectively oversees the department and the ZRRHT entity. The observations by the portfolio committee. During the engagement with the Office of the Premier, the committee could highlight the following areas of observations. The committee notes with grave concern the continuous failure by the Zulu Royal Household Trust to implement its Program 3, fundraising. The trust was established mainly for this purpose. All political parties in the portfolio committee speak in unison that vigorous oversight needs to be performed to ensure this happen. To this end, the portfolio committee resolved to request timelines for this and the appointment of new board of trustees after operating for almost a year without a board. The committee has also noted the recurring issue of delay in recovering funds of the Youth Empowerment Fund, which impacts on the overall financial performance. In this regard, the committee wishes to place it on record that the Premier and the MEC for Finance need to ensure early disbursement of these funds for young people. As we conclude, the Honourable Chairperson, we take this opportunity to thank the Premier, Honourable Ntuli, for this comprehensive budget policy statement. We also wish to thank all members of the Portfolio Committee for the due diligence exercised during the consideration of the vote one. We also extend our appreciation to the Director General, Dr. N.O. Mkhize, and her senior management of the Office of the Premier and the Zulu Royal Household Trust for their understanding during the robust deliberations. Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Fraser. Honorable members will adjourn now for 45 minutes. And then after that, we'll come back here and resume the program. Thank you.